I don't care if the bun is gone. The man bun energy is still there. Let me tell y'all something. Let my man, my husband, throw me under the bus like Brandon did Christina tonight. Oh, baby, we're going to have a serious problem. Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, Reunion Part 1. Wasn't a lot that went on this reunion Part 1, but there's a couple of things that I definitely want to discuss. First things first, though, is the wardrobe, the outfits. I don't know if the theme was prom night, maybe vintage prom night, maybe 80s, 90s prom night. I don't know, but I just was not impressed. And I'm shocked because Christina usually is my go-to girl when it comes to fashion for this show. But I didn't like her outfit. I didn't like her hair for the outfit, and I didn't like her makeup. I felt like her makeup was too dark for the outfit that she had on. Brandon looked a hot mess. I don't know who picked out that tuxedo for him. He looked a hot mess. Colby looked like she had on a curtain, a bad curtain. I was not feeling it. I don't know who decided to tell her that that outfit was everything. No. And her makeup was flawless though. Her hair was flawless, but the outfit just threw me off. Russell was like the only normal man on stage. Anthony, I think he just had on a black suit, a black tie. I didn't care for him anyways. But the only one that I actually was like, she actually looks decent is Latoya. I'm shocked. And, she went with this dark theme vibe, which I think it just fits her perfectly because of her energy. So, yeah, I wasn't mad at what she had on because to me, it was perfect for her. But, I wasn't mad at the look. Wasn't mad at the look. And that's crazy how she is the one who actually I gave an okay to when it came to the style and the fashion for this reunion. So they start off, of course, with Brandon and Christina because Brandon and Christina are truly the stars of this show. So they're kind of, I guess, like, in my opinion, they kind of give me vibes of what you guys constantly say, Martell and what was the ex-wife, but that's the vibes that they're giving for this show. So they talk about their communication issues and about the artists that Brandon emotionally cheated with. And Carlos' messy self says, well, what was some of the things that he said about you? And Christina was like, he said he doesn't like me. And I still feel like Brandon feels that way. I'm sorry. I feel like these two, when they were younger, they possibly got together for all of the superficial reasons of getting together. Now they have kids. I just personally feel they don't mesh well. They do not mesh well. Their personalities do not fit at all whatsoever. And Christina just teared up because, of course, she had to say out loud to everyone that her own husband said that he doesn't like her. And of course, the other women had smirks on their face, of course. I saw a little smirk. I don't know about y'all, but I saw a little smirk. And, Christina said that they're trying to get back to the good times that they had before. It's not perfect, but they're getting better. And how, Brandon, said that at that time when they were going through that and he was venting to that artist, he felt like there was no point of return for them. So that's why he actually was very honest and blunt. I don't think so. I think that Brandon is passive aggressive and he can be very, what's the word? Messy, uh, bitch assness, yeah, a lot of those things. That's why I said him and Anthony mesh well together. The reason why they clash a lot, because they act just alike in a lot of ways, a lot of female energy. And so with that, we go to Latoya and Anthony, and they talk about their issues. And one thing that continuously comes up is the fact that he left to go to try to strike some deal with Marvel Studios. Again, we still don't know what Anthony does, but we find out how long he was in Atlanta. This fool was in Atlanta for 7 months during the height of 2020. And you guys all know what happened in 2020. So he left for 7 months while Latoya was at home dealing with the kids and dealing with the racism that the kids were experiencing in the schools that they were in. I would have had a problem with that too. This was not 2 months. This was not 3 months. This was 7 months. This was more than a half of a year. And he tried to say, before we had kids, we were back and forth between Michigan and Miami. And, you know, when she was in school, we made it work or whatever the case may be. So I figured she would have my back and do the same thing. Here's the thing, fool. You have kids now. Everything changes when you have children because the children become the first priority. So you can't compare what you guys did when you were a couple before kids versus now when you are a father. So I could see how Latoya and her family was frustrated because your priorities was still more so about you two versus the kids. And one thing that Carlos said is that I guess in Detroit, one of the biggest things about manhood or fatherhood is like, first and foremost and always more than anything else, be a provider. I think that's a lot of men, not just Detroit men, but I think there's a balance, you know, that there's a balance that needs to be had. And for the fact that Latoya continues to cry, like she was emotional about what those kids were going through in the schools that they were in. Now, my whole thing is if my kids are going through that type of stuff in that school, either I'm going to check the school where that stuff is going to change, or I'm removing them from the school because I'm like, what were they actually going through? Because if it was that bad, maybe that's not the school for them. I'm just saying, but you guys let me know your opinion. But, you know, Anthony said that he was out there trying to hold it down financially or whatever the case may be. But then we also find out that the opulence wine. Remember when they had their little argument in the car and Anthony said, you know, if I financially put into your wine, and she said, well, I put in too, like making it seem like don't go there with me. I have put in just as much, if not more than you have. Well, we find out apparently Anthony put in 150,000 on the wine and Latoya only put in 50,000. So interesting. It does seem like he put in way more. Now, I feel like the reason why she never said anything is because somewhere in my gut, I feel like Latoya makes way more money than Anthony. Way more money. Okay. I think she is the breadwinner. So in her mind, you can put in that 150 because I pretty much am the reason why we can have some of the things that we have. But that's just my gut. That's my opinion. So I feel like that's why she said that, because it's like, okay, so you put in 150,000, but who got this house? Who got this? Who got that? I think that's the reason why she kind of made that comment without telling us their business. But that's just my opinion. So then we get to the Colby and Christina situation. And this is where I said there is no way in hell I could be with a man like Brandon. Brandon threw Christina under the bus. Okay, just threw her. Just threw her. Carlos talks to Brandon about, why did you call Kobe a Kobe cat? And Brandon says, well, I'm not that observant, so I clearly had to get it from somewhere. And Carlos said, well, who did you get it from? And he said, Christina. Whoo, that would have been a day. Let's sign them divorce papers. And the way that Christina looked at him, they don't really like, in my opinion, they don't like each other. They do not like each other. They may love each other, but there's a thing, you can love someone and not like them. And I think that's this couple. They do not like each other. Because first things first, whatever conversation I have with my husband, my man, pillow talking, whatever the case may be, it should stay between us. When we are together, we are together. We are a unit. We are a force to be reckoned with. So, first, if she did tell you some stuff like that, you decided to put it out there and say Kobe cat. Then on top of that, at the reunion, you pretty much throw her under the bus and say, yes, Christina and I have had these type of conversations about Kobe being a Kobe cat. So out of line. And y'all let me know what y'all think about that. It was so out of line, so disrespectful for him to do that. That is your wife. You are supposed to protect her and hold her down. Even if she is in the wrong, you tell her in private when she's in the wrong. When you guys are out in public, you guys are a unit. I could not believe, like, my jaw dropped when he did that. I said, he is a punk. Like, how dare you? So, of course, that put the map on Christina, because Kobe nodded her head like, see, okay, so it was coming from you. It was coming from you. You said something to him to make him say that. And literally, Christina made it seem like, no, I don't know where Brandon got that from. So, child, Christina tried to, talk herself out of it and say, I did have this conversation with him, but I never wanted him to say it like that, which I truly think the conversation she had with Brandon, she thought was going to stay between her and Brandon. I really don't think that she ever wanted Brandon to say something, nor was she ever going to put it out there to Kobe in that way. But when you're talking to your significant other, you can talk to that person and be frustrated and be mad and maybe say things that you wouldn't say in public because that's your significant other. But Brandon broke all codes on that. I'm sorry. He broke all codes. So Kobe, she's like, when she loves hard. And, she felt like she was completely hurt by that. And she said she is not no little Kobe. She big Kobe. Like, she is an influencer. She has more followers. Like, she is not new to this. So with that, Christina said that she wanted to have an open, conversation with her in person about what happened. I still don't know exactly really what happened with that Harper Ray situation. And I don't know if we're going to get the truth at the reunion. Based on what Christina said on her live, I understood what she was saying, but I don't think she can say it on the reunion because it involves production and the stories that they bring to production. But what I also didn't like is that Brandon starts to cry about how his relationship is now broken and the friendship is now broken between Russell and Kobe and how they had a great friendship. And I'm like, you're crying over this friendship, but you're not crying over your own marriage. Child. Is it just me? Is it? I don't know. I would love to see couples last. Like, when you get married, the whole point is you want it to last a lifetime. To death do us part. I just don't know when it comes to Christina and Brandon. Like, they're so opposite. I really think that Brandon he doesn't like Christina, and I think Christina doesn't like Brandon and how he's kind of a punk and he just doesn't stand up. Like he's not in his manhood like she wants him to be. But yeah, he starts crying. And so with that, Russell's like, man, I appreciate that. Russell's such a smooth dude. Like, he's so cool. He's like, I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate that. Yeah, we were tight. You my boy. And then Colby starts crying. And this is like at the end of the episode, Colby starts crying because I guess for her, she was extremely hurt by what happened. And I could see that because Colby is very emotional. And when she gets emotional, she has this high-pitched voice that would annoy the hell out of me. But I truly think that things went too far. Can they be resolved? I think they can, but I do think that she has somebody in her ear a little too much, known as Latoya, that's possibly causing some issues. So let's get to Latoya and Anthony. So Latoya makes it seem like she doesn't have an issue with Christina. Totally does. She says she doesn't have an issue with her. And Carlos is like, but do you like her? And she's like, I don't have an issue with her. He's like, but do you like her? She's like, I like Christina. No, you don't. You don't like her. You don't like her and you have an issue with her. Because as soon as she said, I like Christina, I don't like some of the things that she does. Okay, so she says that Christina is manipulative. Your husband is too, sweetheart. Your husband is too. He is also a manipulator. So again, you're so quick to focus on the woman versus your better half. Kind of has the same traits and characteristics that you're saying Christina has. Anthony has too. Then she did the ultimate, you have crossed the line by saying you're a manipulator. You manipulate your husband. And I said, oh, hold up. Now you're getting into their marriage. Now you're getting into their marriage when you got your own marital issues that you got to focus on. I felt she crossed the line trying to give an example about what she does with Brandon because you only have seen what you have somewhat seen on this show. You don't know their relationship and you don't know what the heck has really been going on. And Brandon's sitting there like a lump of freaking lard, not saying anything with his head down like a punk. Not saying anything. You think if somebody was coming at Colby like that, or even with Latoya, if somebody was coming at Latoya like that, Anthony or Russell wouldn't have stepped up and tried to squash that or step up for their woman? They absolutely would have. Brandon didn't say nothing. He just let her have it. I don't know, y'all. What y'all think about this relationship, Brandon and Christina? Y'all think they gonna last? I don't know. I do not know. So Latoya's like, I think she's a manipulator. I think she likes to play the victim a lot. And Colby said the same thing. Now, based on what we have seen on this show, I can see how some people may say that she does play victim. But again, it's only what we've seen on this show. As far as her husband is concerned, she was playing victim, but at the same time, she could play the victim in that situation because from what we saw, she is a victim. And that's why I say, I don't know how long this situation is going to last. And then that's when Brandon finally stood up and said, oh, she is the victim when it comes to us. Brandon, you know what? It's too late. You already threw her under the bus for them to attack her in the first place like you always do. Like, you just don't like your wife. And if you don't like her, maybe you guys need to just part ways. Because I don't think it's healthy for either one of them. They just literally don't look like they're happy. They're forcing themselves to be happy. It's weird. And y'all let me know. But with that, Latoya gives her opinion, says Christina always plays victim, she's manipulative, and Christina's like, give me examples, and then of course she sat up there and brought up Brandon, which was an absolute no, and then she brought up Colby. I think everyone's going to have their opinions on that situation. I think there's definitely some things that I kind of question on certain things that Christina said. But here's the problem. I question a lot of stuff that was said when it comes to Anthony, when it comes to Latoya, and also when it comes to Colby and Brandon. The only one who seems normal in this situation and seems like a just overall decent person is Russell. Everybody else is questionable. With how they move, their emotions, how they talk to each other, everyone else is questionable. So my thing is, stop pointing the finger and look at yourself, and definitely look at the person that's right next to you, which is Anthony. Okay? Because Anthony is messy too. He's messy. And you never want to point that out. And he always plays victim too. But you never want to point that out. So, with that being said, you guys, that was reunion part one. Decent. It wasn't, like the best reunion, but we're going to see what happens the next episode, which is part two. But with that being said, what did you guys think about this episode, reunion part one? How do you feel about the relationship between Brandon and Christina? And how did you feel about what Colby said, what Latoya said? So with that, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.